Okay, let's go ahead and start here. We've got the square drawn with the radii, got the circle in the center. So um, let me do this actually. I'll delete this stock. Maybe I have to unblank it first. And then, so we could run stock wizard again, even though it's already there. We would pick what we wanted, say okay. I really want to cancel out of it because I already have stock. Back to cam tree. So if I don't want to see that stock, I can blank it by right clicking on it and blanking it. It's still there. I'm just not seeing it. It needs to be there for visualization purposes later, or sorry, simulation purposes later. So if now I went to machine setup, if I wanted to edit that, you can see it's still really there. If I wanted to pick one of these auto grips, I could do it, but I like where that datum is, so I'll leave it alone. Cancel out of that. Go back in here to my cam tree. Change. If I wanted to change the post processor first, I could come here, go to edit, select that. So long this is in on your C drive and Bobcad cam data posts, mill posts. That's where we would put your new posts as I send them to you. So for right now, the industrial steel post is what I want anyway. So I'm just going to cancel out of this. Otherwise, I would select it and say OK. Now that that's there and our machine setup is done, I'm going to go to mill 2 axes here. Go to profiling, select what I want. Now, let's just escape from that. If I wanted to create a contour, I could go to my contour button. I want to make this a clockwise contour. I will shift select all of it and right click, say OK. So there's one. Say I want to run that counterclockwise, select that one, say OK, and the arrow is kind of telling us the direction it's going. So right now I'm going to get out of this and cancel. Now I do have profiles that'll tell me the direction things go. Come down here, go to this. Doesn't replace geometry, so if I delete this, my geometry will still be there. So I could create layers and put this on different layers if I wished to do so. So right here in my layers, if I wanted to create a new layer, I could right click, add new layer, and put contours. And since you understand how AutoCAD works, it's the same way as AutoCAD. If I check this layer, it makes it active. So all my tool paths would also be on my contour layers if that's checked. I'm going to come down here and go to mill 2 axes, pick profiling. For you, you'll have one additional step. Because yours is newer version, you'll have to just delete that other finishing or roughing. So we get a single profile going around there. Now I'm going to select my geometry. I'll do the inside first. Pick that, right click, select OK. That looks good. Next, next, next. I'll put in these selections here. Feed rate. So later on when I get you the new post, your flame out should be double whatever you put this entry here. So if your pierce dwell is 1.5, your flame out time will be 3 seconds. And as we go along and get all of your posts set up for your different material thicknesses, hopefully that'll help out. Go to next. My compensation will be left because I'm keeping the inside, not the slug. Next. Don't have much going on here. If I wanted to simulate right, then this depth is important, but otherwise it isn't. For now, I would probably stick with parallel and right angle, because if we're going to use our creep time, it's probably going to be only input in our lead in lines. So if we do a vertical line, I don't know that that's really going to help us with our creep time solution. So right now we'll go right angle, and our lead length is 1 inch. We'll go to next. Leave the corner sharp. Compute. So now we have that tool path showing up in brown because the stock is blanked. We can see a little better. Now I'll go do, and we could rename this at any time. If I want to rename that, I can come down here, rename, and call it inside, so that if we had a bunch of these, we could drag them and drop them in different places. Back here, do another mill, 2 axes. Next, select geometry. There's my geometry. Okay, click next. Next. And this just what it tells us in the program is going on, and don't have to necessarily put anything there. I'll work on getting some of these figured out. Hopefully we can use these to your advantage as far as how it's posting the code, what that code means to Mach 3. So again, and we're still left. Depth to cut only if you want to simulate. Is that important? Vertical, we'll do right angle again. Some of this is just you're going to have to play with and base it on what's best for you. And there we go. Now we got no more. This is grayed out, so we can't use it. So we compute that, and now we've got both our inside and outside going on. And all of that should have happened on our contours. So if we shut that off, sorry, go there and shut that off. Well, I guess it didn't turn it off like I expected. There you go. Well, the CAD goes away, but the contours, the tool paths are still there. So it didn't quite work like I thought it would. Alright, so anyway, now if you could probably just, I think with your newer version, you can right click on cam part and it'll come up as post. For me, I gotta go to this milling tools and post because I have an older version. And we talked about before setting defaults to where this saves. For now, I'm just gonna go here and go save as and put it on my desktop. I'll save it as this square file. Gonna replace it. Got Mach 3 here, ready to open. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one and load the next one. Alright, so here we are. I want to quickly show you how this return to toolpath works. So I'll cycle start. You notice my optional stop is selected and there's an M1, so it's stopping. Now these block deletes, you'll have that button on if you don't want it to light your torch automatically and things like that. Otherwise, if you do want it to light the torch automatically, you would have this off. Right now it's telling me I have to rewind it in order to turn that on, so I'll rewind it, turn my block delete on, and then I would manually light it. So for now, cycle start, and you'll notice I have my feed rate override set at 250%. Cycle start, here we go. It takes off going down the tool path. So at any point, if I wanted to stop it and jog away, like Doug said he wanted to do so that he could clean his torch, all he's got to do is hit feed hold. You notice it stops. If he hits remember, then all he's got to do is jog it away. So let's jog it away here a little ways. And once he hits, you'll see this is where it thinks it's at now. When I hit return, it saved those coordinates to where it was because I hit remember. If I hit OK, it moves to where it was, and then it just tells me to cycle start again, and here we go. So there is a solution for that. Hopefully this video was helpful. I'll email it to you, and you just keep communicating with me about what it is you need. I can't always probably solve the problem, but I will do my best.